we have a lot, and I do mean a lot, to talk about today. The world of DBD is never, ever going to be the same ever again. Let's go ahead and bite the bullet, even though that perk didn't get changed, and look at the developer update, because a lot has changed. A lot has been from stuff that they said they were going to change before, has not, you know, kind of carried over to what they said they were going to change here. So let's see what is up. So perhaps one of the biggest and most fruitful changes that is going to be coming out of this mid-chapter update is the new perk progression overhaul, which is going to make prestiging allow you to unlock all the perks on that character according to the level that you prestige them. For example, if you prestige Trapper to prestige 1, you get Brutal Strength, Unnerving Presence, and Agitation, all at rank 1. The yellow perks on all of your killers automatically. However, the tidbit to this that they went back on is that they had, at the very least, implied that this is going to be in addition to the teachable perk system. However, the teachable perk system has been confirmed in this update to be going away. The teachable perk system will be going the way of the dodo, which is crazy because that's been in the game for an absurd amount of time. That is a mainstay of Dead by Daylight, and now it's just going to be gone. Like, it's going to be donezo come this mid-chapter. Teachables are gone. So, prestige is the only thing that matters now. The first 3 prestiges will get you up to your rank 3 perks on everyone. Like I said, the Trapper example. If you prestige 3 Trapper, you're going to have Agi, Brutal Strength, and Unnerving Presence on everyone at rank 3, the purple perks. So that will be good for you, but the prestige as it is now has been essentially bumped up to prestige 4, 5, and 6. So if you want the bloody cosmetics, you want the special stuff, you have to go up to 4, 5, and 6. Now, they say this is a good thing because this cuts it by 75%, the grinding by 75%, which is hopefully true. Hopefully that's really, really good. Also, you keep all your stuff. So if you've been grinding like the flans for the event, you keep everything now after prestiging, and you can go all the way up to 100. Go all the way up to level 100 to show like your true dedication to that character. Also, at prestige level 7, 8, and 9, you will get a charm tied to your character's teachable perks, which is very, very unique and cool. Now, Shrine of Secrets does something different now as well, because teachables are just dead, which is still wild. Teachables just being gone. Now, whenever you buy something from the shrine, it basically is as if you prestige that character once. You just get that perk on everyone at rank 1. I don't know about this. This is weird to me because, like, it's so bizarre to me. It did not seem like we needed to get rid of teachables, right? I feel like this, especially with the way they've reworked the shrine, it could have been very easy to have the teachable system coincide along with the new prestige system. But apparently, I don't know whether it was a coding thing or what, but like they just decided to completely do away with the teachable system, which is kind of crazy, kind of wild. It's I'm just shocked, and hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully it works out, because like, I don't know, a lot of people are really used to that, and I don't know why not have both. It feels like it's more beneficial to just have both. I don't know, it's just weird to me. Also, the special reward is unfortunately nothing crazy. It's just a special icon for, you know, for if you had prestige before that point. That's it. It's just an icon. That's it. It's nothing crazy, nothing too fun. This part, I'm not too thrilled with the matchmaking incentives, because they're going to try and incentivize you with more blood points to play one side or the other. 25% to 100%. It's not that big of a deal, I don't think. It doesn't work if crossplay is turned off, which I guess makes sense, because then you could just like kind of manipulate and farm. But by and all, I don't think the matchmaking incentives, which will be coming, are going to be too big of a deal. I guess they're nice if you're blood point grinding, but other than that, I don't really care for these. Okay, let's get to the big stuff, because not only are they doing the 39 perk change, they're also changing base game mechanics. They're quite literally changing how the game works at its base. So generator speeds are actually being nerfed. We just made a video about this like week and a half ago, talking about how nerfing gen speeds would probably not be a good thing, but they went in and did it. Gens now take 10 more seconds across the board. Gens now take 10 more seconds across the board. Kicking a generator will move 2.5% of progress instead. So dry kicks are even more powerful. But gen speeds have been slowed down. which is, like I said before, and I'll try to keep this short because we got a lot to go over. Gens are already incredibly boring to do. It's literally just sitting on it's just sitting there pressing one button and sometimes a spacebar. It's not that intriguing. It's not that fun gameplay. So to make that even more boring and take even longer, it's a big yikes. But there's another aspect of this that, in retrospect, may actually make the gens go even faster, and we will get to that point. But this is kind of like, we'll have to play and see, because the gens, just based on the changes that are coming later, like that we're about to talk about, gens may be going faster than ever before. So Killer in general is getting a lot of small quality of life changes, and some of these are pretty substantial. There's going to be a partial baked in brutal strength. So you have a 10% increase to breaking walls and breaking pallets, and you know, everything that comes with kicking. So that includes gens as well. So it's only by like 0.2 or 0.2 seconds, but that's still gonna matter. That's still gonna matter. That is going to obviously stack with other things that help you kick things faster as well. That is going to, that's gonna build up over time. Also, there's kind of a baked-in stabiffle that is existing in the game. Your cooldown on basic attacks is decreased by 10%. Once again, it's only a 0.3, but that matters. That's like a brown add-on. You know, that's like equipping a brown add-on to help you. That you wouldn't, like, you equip brown add-ons all the time. So these are equivocal. Also, the survivor speed boost being hit also goes down by 0.2 seconds. So this is pretty crazy. Also, bloodlust is being adjusted, but it's not really being adjusted that much. Essentially, you just get tier 2 slightly quicker. You get tier 2 5 seconds quicker. Bloodlust tier 1 exists in the same way, but Bloodlust tier 2 kicks in 5 seconds quicker, and you know, tier 3 respectively. I don't know, if you're having 15-second chases regularly, like, you're not playing the game well, and you're probably going to lose anyway. I'm not one of those people that outrages over Bloodlust, especially with some of the busted setups that keep adding to the game, like on RPD and Haddonfield and stuff. I don't think that Bloodlust is actually a bit as big of a problem that people make it out to be, because most of the time, a good killer that's actually playing well will only hit Bloodlust 1 sometimes. You know, like, realistically, we're not hitting Bloodlust 2 and 3, so I've never... Until they remove some of the really absurd setups, like 3 pallets into shack, or like a long wall vault into shack, like getting rid of stupid stuff like that, Bloodlust will always have a place in the game, and that's just the sad fact of it. That's just how it goes. So yeah, but these are pretty intense. They're basically baking in a lot of the quality of life killer perks like brutal and stabiffle to kind of like as like a small brown add-on that's just base kit for every killer, which is kind of crazy. But there's some other stuff that's coming too. For the survivor side of things, we have 5-second endurance after coming off hook. So basically, they took BT, halved it, and shaved a little off, and now you just have that base kit now. BT is essentially base kit. It's just really short. We'll talk about how that's gonna play out even worse, because a lot of the perk changes just kind of give endurance for free for everything. Also, they get a 7% haste for 5 seconds. So essentially, there's been a lot of the circumstances that cause tunneling usually aren't nefarious. Usually it's like, you know, a rando comes up, unhooks you, and then you're just kind of like out in the open, and there's nothing you can do, and the other person is like ducked behind a rock, and the killer doesn't see them, and you're kind of screwed. Now you get 5-second endurance. So if the killer was coming up to hook, you can at least take that endurance, whether that person had BT or not. And also you have haste, so you have enough time to peepo speed and try to zoom out of there. And even if you get hit on the way out, you have that 5-second endurance. So essentially, it kind of saves you from that, you know, I got farmed scenario, regardless of who was bringing what perk when, which is good. It's good for the game. They've also made it to where this turns off if they perform a conspicuous action. Essentially, conspicuous action is all the things that would turn off DS plus opening and exit gate. They have finally added that. They finally added opening and exit gate to the things that deactivate perks, which was something I complained about with the new DS, is that like somebody could come off hook with the newer DS and just go do a door, and that they could still DS you off the door, which was annoying. But yeah, they added that to that list, and those DS deactivation also applies to this base kit endurance. Okay, here comes the perk changes. Okay, so a lot of these base kit changes may be shocking to you, and you may be like, whoa, Brand, you're like skating by these super huge base kit mechanic changes. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of these are offset by these perk changes, and we're going to talk about them because I feel like they coincide with those base kit changes and kind of like either enhance or neuter some of them. So we need to talk about that. So barbecue, it's just getting its blood point thing removed. Their excuse is that, oh well, you know, we're making the blood point grind better, so therefore why? I don't know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like why is it bad to have people earn extra blood points? Like, this is just unnecessary. There's no reason to take this off, and it's just silly in my opinion. Like the aura reading's still nice. I will probably still run it on a lot of killers, but like, I don't know, just like, why? If it once again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Why? And this also disencourages tunneling, right? A lot of people don't tunnel because they want their barbecue stacks for their blood points. So if you're really wanting to stop camping and tunneling like you did with the base kit BT and you did with the base kit haste coming off hook, keep the blood point aspect to perks that disencourage tunneling, because this perk disencourages tunneling. So I feel like that's not very smart. Ruin has had its power halved. So it went from 200% down to 100%, respectively. Also, if you kill a survivor, if you make it a 3v1, Ruin automatically deactivates. Ruin's kind of dumb. I've never liked Ruin. You guys know that. You guys know that when I play on stream, and I barely use Ruin ever. Sometimes I'll use Ruin if I'm like, I'm doing like a please pop this totem build, like with like Pentimento or trying to proc Haunted Grounds. But otherwise, I don't use this perk because I think it's silly. I think just I walk at the generator and cause it to start regressing at such a crazy rate. I think it's just kind of like free pressure. I think it's really boring, and I think it's kind of the lazy man slowdown. So it's been halved, which is good. It's good. And also deactivates and becomes a 3v1. That won't be happening too much because, you know, most people like pop Ruin pretty quickly into the match. But by and large, I'm okay with this change. Ruin's kind of just, like I said, it's the lazy man's slowdown perk. So I feel like a lesser effect kind of like justifies its total lack of response on your side of things. So pop has been changed to be current progress and not total progress. So, you know, that may be confusing. So if you kick a gen, also it's had 5% shaved off of its effect as well. So it's 20%, not 25%, but complete versus total. So it takes the bar. Let's say the bar, right? The bar is 100%. You will always take a fourth of it right now if you kick it. But now in this new update, it will be current progress. So it's 25% of whatever is current or whatever progress is on the bar. So it'll be 25% of however much they had completed of it. So if you say, if they have it like 99, it's going to be crazy. It's going to lose a lot of progress. But if they have just started it, you're not going to be able to just like nuke the gen. Because that's a funny thing you do with pop that we all laugh about, is like a gen will like have like barely any progress and you just kick it and it's just gone. It won't do that anymore because it's based on compared to how much progress has been currently done. I am not happy with you about corrupt behavior. This is stupid. You took the effort to make BT base kit to make the game better for survivors, but corrupt, they essentially nerfed it. They essentially just kind of like flat out nerfed corrupt, which is wild to me. The perk now deactivates once a survivor enters the dying state. That's it. Like it has no buffs, no partial base kitness to it. It's just, they just kind of just flat out nerfed corrupt for literally no reason, despite not being a strong perk. It was just a nice perk to prevent gen rush. Now, if you down someone, you don't even get the full 2 minutes. It just ends there. What the heck, behavior? What is this? We're gonna make BT base kit, but we're gonna nerf corrupt. What are you thinking, dude? Like, I understand that like camping and tunneling is unfun, but gen rushing is also the other side of that. Gen rushing and exhaustion perks are the camping and tunneling of the other side, right? Camping and tunneling is the survivor gripe, and then gen rushing and exhaustion perks are the killer gripe. Those are the two main problems that make the game unfun, and you solved one, but then you're doing dumb stuff like this to like corrupt. Corrupt did not need a nerf. This is stupid. This is dumb. And this is retroactively going to, even though you've made gen speed slower, going to retroactively make the gens go quicker. Because this isn't it. This very like fair and balanced perk is now much worse. And it gets worse than that. Tinkerer only procs once now. That's been something that people have been requesting for a long time, is Tinkerer needed to only proc once. You couldn't kick it and get it over and over and over on the same gen. I never saw Tinkerer as a problem, honestly. Tinkerer is just kind of something you ran in enhancement to like a other perk. To me, it never bothered me. It was never a perk that needed the nerf. It was just okay. I think people just overreacted to it, but that is the thing. Yeah. No-ed. Now, this is the perk. This is the killer perk that I actually agreed with. This was the killer perk I was like, yeah, this one probably needed adjusted. This one needed some sort of prerequisite. They did not do that. They did not give it a prerequisite. It still works the same way, but it works like Hex Plaything now, where if somebody hooks you and you get Plaything, you see the aura of your Plaything. That way you can cleanse it if you get close to that Plaything. Now, No-ed works the same way, that if endgame hits, No-ed activates, you will see it if you get close enough. You will get the Hex Plaything aura reading on it if you get close enough to it. And as the course of the end game continues, that range at which you would see it goes up. I don't know. I don't think anybody cared that No-ed was a thing. I don't think anybody cared that No-ed was a thing. I think people cared that No-ed didn't have a prerequisite, or you didn't have to earn it. I don't think that was the problem. So just making it super easy to cleanse, it's putting it in a position where like you're putting it in a position where it might end up being useless most of the time and not worth bringing, which puts it in the other pile of perks which are useless and not worth bringing. This is very risky. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out, but I'm worried about this one because all this needed was a prerequisite, something that's like, oh, well, you earned that, right? Like you didn't tunnel throughout the game, so now you get No-ed, like something like that. But just making it super easy to cleanse, sometimes that's already the case. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a Swift or somebody has a map or somebody's like been on the totems, like you can already end up in that situation where it just goes immediately or it doesn't even go off. So now it's going to go off. Now it's going to get cleansed immediately as well, even if you're not together, which is just, or not on top of totems or whatever. It's just, okay. Pain Res actually got bodied. Poor Pain Res. So the whole reason that people run Pain Resonance is that you trade off the RNG of Scourge hooks, which may be bad, especially on places like Midwich or like Father Campbell's, where hooks are more spread out and awkward, or like a huge map like Mother's Dwelling, where they can all spawn in a corner on the opposite side of the map, and you're just like, well, that doesn't help me. And you trade that kind of like RNG, that risk of Scourge hook spawns and convenience, for both slowdown, even though it's not too crazy of a slowdown, and info. Slowdown and info. So you trade, oh, I may not make it to a Scourge hook all the time, but when I do, it gives me both slowdown and info. So it's kind of a trade-off. But they completely removed the info aspect of the perk. Period. That's it. They said they're quote-unquote limiting its informational aspect. You took away its informational aspect, and it has none anymore. It has no information. They're like, well, the gen sparks. I mean, like, that's what it does when it gets hit with a slowdown perk. That's not info. that's what it does. So they just kind of just destroyed Pain Resonance. So that's cool. It still does the slowdown, but like, if you end up in a situation where like the Scourge hooks are hard to reach, like in a map like Midwich, where the hooks are like really spread out naturally without anybody bringing Oak, and you finally get them to hook, and all you get is that, woo boy, I got a little bit of slowdown. That's it. That's not worth it. It's just not. So yeah, they kind of just bodied Pain Resonance. And before we get to the survivor stuff, if you're noticing, these are all the slowdown perks, all the good ones anyway. You noticing this here? It's not going to matter that we increase gen speeds by 10 seconds if all of these suck now, you know? And I will say, first and foremost, yeah, the slowdown meta needed to die. But I don't think 10 seconds... I don't think 10 seconds of extra gen time without any adjustments to prove thyself, without any adjustments to toolboxes, without any adjustments to gen efficiency or gen positioning, I don't think that's going to matter too much. I'm going to be real with you. I don't think that's going to change too much. I really don't, especially if you don't have anything really strong to slow down the gens. I feel like gens are going to go faster. Hot take. Hot take. I feel like gens are actually going to go faster because you are not going to be able to stop them as much. And the biggest ways to speed through gens have not been adjusted. So I hope I'm wrong, but we will see. Let's get to everything that everybody wanted to hear, everything everybody wanted to see. It is Head Guard, good old Dead Hard. Dead Hard no longer does its yeet and it does not zoom forward anymore. So essentially, you hit the button and you grant yourself endurance. It'd be as if you activated a styptic mid movement, and it's only activated for 1 second. So essentially, you just kind of have like essentially people treat it like a third health state anyway. So now it quite literally is just a third health state. You just kind of like get endurance for literally a second, and if you wait it out, you just get to wait it out. There is no zooming, like there's no getting to the middle of a tile and zooming to something anymore, which was kind of like like Dead Hard didn't have counterplay. I think that was the main issue. Dead Hard had zero counterplay, and that's what made the perk unfun. Dead Hard had zero counterplay. There was no way you could avoid it. There were so many situations where unless they were out in the open or unless they were an idiot, like waiting it out didn't matter, because if you waited it out, they would make the distance to the window, to the pallet. But if you swung, obviously they just Dead Hard anyway, and then they make the pallet or window anyway. Now the distance is gone, so it's just you just get endurance for half second. So I thought, and I know this is a hot take, especially for a killer main, I thought that Dead Hard would be fine if they just gave it a prerequisite. Like I always brought this up. Spirit Fury is an aggressively overpowered perk if you really think about it. Like you go to pallet stun a killer, and then suddenly the pallet just disappears and he gets a free hit. That's stupid. But nobody complains about that perk because realistically, it's only going off like once or twice a match because it takes so much to build up. So nobody really cares about Spirit Fury, and it's not actually that overpowered. Because even though it's an overpowered effect, it doesn't go off that often. So like you barely notice it. So like if they had done that to Dead Hard, like traded like chase time for like a stack or two that you could use, I would have been fine with that. Because like, I don't know, like OP things are fine in a game. You just have to make them limited. Either you make the effect not OP, which is what they did here, or you make it OP, but the effect is so limited that you barely see it. Those are kind of like the two balancing decisions you can make. Not even just DBD, but in games in general. If something is too strong, limit its use or change the effect. That's just kind of what you have to do. But they went with changing the effect here. So I think by and large, it'll work both ways, you know, like it'll be fine now. This is kind of, I hate to say this because I know everybody's tired of hearing this from killer mains, but like this perk ruins the game for me. It really does. There's so many times I work so hard to out mind game someone, and I finally do, and they just EQ away. It's stupid. It's dumb. So like if you want people to feel good playing your game, remove stuff that ruins their good gameplay. If you want this game to be truly skill based and to reward people for good skill, this perk needed to go. Second chance perks in general need to go, but we'll get to that. DS got nerfed, which I know that like, I know that DS is like, can be used definitely offensively, and it does still happen, but they moved the stun time from 5 seconds down to 3 seconds. And I know once again, coming from a killer main, this is probably weird. I don't know all about this one. You want to remove camping and Campbell souping, camping and tunneling, but you made the main anti-tunnel perk worse. Like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It will feel good for me when I'm playing killer, but I don't know if that's the way to go, right? So I play killer like pretty fair, pretty by the books. I'm kind of a very golden retriever killer sometimes. Like I'm just like, okay, I won't tunnel, you know, like I don't play like a lot of other people do where they're like super mean and aggressive, right? Yeah, so that's not something I deal with. It's not something I do, but I know other people do. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one. Borrowed time now just enhances that the effects of the base kit. Borrowed time essentially does the same thing that it did before, but it basically takes that you know, you get 5 seconds of base kit BT, and now BT gives you a full 15 seconds if you bring it. Yeah, so it's 15 seconds of the endurance and 15 seconds of haste. So it just improves. It improves the base kit effect. That's just what it does. It's just like if you want to if you run BT, if you want to do a Savion hooky build, it's not necessary anymore, which is nice. Iron Will no longer will completely silence the survivors. It will at max do 75%, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And also, when you're exhausted, it stops working. and I read this and I was like, you know, that kind of makes sense if you really think about it. So think of the concept, like not the mechanic, but like the concept of being exhausted. So like you just did something really strenuous, and now your body like needs a break because you're stressed. You have stressed your body. It's probably harder to like stifle your grunts of pain if you're like under extreme duress. And I was like, that kind of makes sense. So Iron Will is a very, very like dark horse perk. Like it's like something that you don't see it as super OP, but like the kind of mind games and the extra plays that it opens up, it's really, really, really strong. Do I think they could have maybe bumped those numbers up a little bit, made it like 80, 85, 90, maybe, but I don't know. I think that's fine the way it is. Also, Spirit players will love that because they'll still be able to hear them slightly. Self-care has been nerfed, which is kind of interesting. They lowered the speed to 35%, and there's no item efficiency to it anymore. Circular healing is still in the game, you know? Like, circular healing is still a thing, and it's much more threatening. So I didn't see a lot of people probably wanting to use self-care unless they were like solo queuing and really wanted to just have a way to heal themselves. Most people who want to heal themselves bring Circle anyway. So I don't know. It's like, why are you sniping self-care when Circle's in the game? I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I don't know, but it just seems funny to me. Spine Chill is completely different, by the way. Spine Chill is really weird. So Spine Chill only works now if there's complete line of sight. So like, not like I look your direction, but like literally like there's eye contact. Like I can see you over there. And so if there's a tree in the way, if there's a wall in the way, Spine Chill doesn't go off anymore. Also, the vault speed's gone. The vault speed's gone. So vault build is dead. Resilience will still, you know, do its thing, but like Spine Chill, Resilience, that whole vault build thing, it's gone. Or will be. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. What? Like, was Spine Chill really out here ruining everybody's days? That's wild. I never saw Spine Chill and went, yes. Dumb perk. I guess stealth killers will like this. People who play like Myers, Ghostface. Yeah, they're not hard countered anymore. There's that. That's positive, but I don't know. Removing the vault speed? I don't know about that, Chief. Especially with the way the servers act up and ping gets real bad. You want to remove that? Oh, I don't know about that. So let's go to non-meta perk changes because they're buffing a lot of things that don't get used. Overcharge now has kind of this almost like a Call of Brian effect where you kick it and over time its regression kicks all the way up to 400% if you leave it over the course of 30 seconds, and you have to touch the gen to stop it. So you're forcing them to eat the skill check, which is, I think it's really funny. I think that's a unique way to do it because then you can like really add that. Like you still throw overcharge in your kick builds, but it's mostly for memes, right? Like you're not actually like getting a lot of value overcharge. Usually they hit the great skill check. It's just kind of like to make them like frantic, right? But like now there's like a real incentive to like, hey, we gotta go touch that gen, you know? Eruption. I've been using this lately, by the way. It's really funny. I've been actually using Eruption a lot of my builds. It's just fun. So now it's going to be getting a buff as well. So this is just a numbers one. The regression goes up by 10%, and the incapacitated lasts a full 25 seconds. 25 seconds, you can't do anything. That's a long time. That is a long time. That's worse than the gen being blocked because incapacitated means you can't do anything. It's like you can't hop back on the gen, but you also can't do other things, which is that's rough, buddy. That's rough. Knockout's still going to be, for the most part. I think I like Knockout's changes. It's still not going to be a good perk, but it's trying to make it, because essentially knockout's useless if the survivors are even slightly like in coordination, because they can just like call out where they are, you know. So they added kind of an effect to it that makes it useful even if they have call outs, which is they crawl slower and they recover slower as well. So yeah. Chlorophobia, still not going to be good. They added a the kind of like a doctor effect where like the skill checks are faster while you're healing under him. But once again, I mostly hit my I hit my doctor skill checks better than my normal skill checks, to be honest, so that's not helpful. Dark Devotion's fun. They took away the M1 requirement, so you can do some fun shenanigans like hatchet somebody with hunters from far away and then transfer the terrorists to them all the way over there. Yeah, they removed the M1 requirement, so now you can do it with M2s, which sounds fun. That sounds like it just opens up possibilities for fun things. Jolt is my favorite buff on this list because Jolt no longer has a cooldown. Jolt, there are some matches where I can't get Jolt to even go off because the map's too big, and then sometimes I don't even have it off cooldown when it would be helpful. It's just had too many training wheels on it. It wasn't even that great a perk, and it had too many training wheels. They got rid of one of the training wheels. Now it doesn't have a cooldown. Ooh, yep. Now it just goes. Thank God. This is going to be the new pain resonance. I'm looking at you, Jolt. You're in the new pain resonance, because if you're not going to get the info from pain res, might as well just throw on Jolt. It does roughly the same gen damage, and you don't have to go find a Scourge Hook. You may not be in the right position, right, to hit the exact gen you want, but like if you're really looking for a perk that just does gen damage, you don't have to like worry about babysitting the gens, Jolt's gonna be your man now. Lethal Pursuer I am also happy about because I hate it. The main reason I didn't use Lethal Pursuer is because after that first 9 seconds, it kind of became a dead perk slot. It was just kind of useless for the rest of the match, which I hated. I don't like dead perk slots. It bothers me. I hate dead perk slots in matches. But now it kind of is like a weird, like open-handed for killer, which is fun. It makes aura reading last 2 seconds longer on any other thing that would give you aura reading, whether that be your add-ons or your perks while you're playing killer. So anything that would give you aura reading, it now makes that any effect that would give you aura reading for 2 seconds longer. So yeah, it kind of has like a very kind of like diet open-handed effect for killer, which is fun. Gift of Pain has its numbers increased to 16%. Gift of Pain, if you didn't know, was bottom 10 most used perks in the game. It was never used ever. It was kind of just like worse sloppy. So yeah, they upped the numbers to hopefully get it to be used. I don't know if it'll matter, to be honest, but we'll see. Thana upped its numbers to 22% and then 5.5% for each survivor. Once again, Thana's not that helpful. I don't think this will matter too much. I think this is just like weird. I don't think this matters. Monstrous Shrine is now a Scourge Hook. This is wild. Monstrous Shrine is now a Scourge Hook. This is wild. So this is okay. There's a lot to unpack here. Scourge Hooks by and large have been made mostly useless this patch, or this upcoming patch, but Monstrous Shrine makes things kind of intriguing because now this converts all basement hooks to Scourge Hooks, which is something that people were requesting as like a base kit thing, but now you can just run a perk and make it a thing. I don't think it'd be a good base kit, but you have to run a perk to do it. We'll see how it works out. Scourge Hooks now grant 20% faster NAD progression, but only if you're not within 24 meters. So basically, if you're not proxy camping or camping, they literally die quicker, as long as they're on Scourge Hooks. Notice it doesn't say the basement hooks. It says any Scourge Hooks. So this includes the ones that are on the map. So you could theoretically hook someone, get like pain res, gift of pain, walk away. They're dying quicker on top of that. Only have to put them in the basement. This may be scary. I feel like people will like ignore Monstrous Shrine, and because Monstrous Shrine is Monstrous Shrine. This may be a problem. I don't know. We'll have to test it. This may be an issue. We will see. Let's see, Survivor perk buffs. Calm Spirit got a small buff where like you open chests and interact with totems quietly, but you also have a speed debuff. Like, okay, it's Calm Spirit will still be Calm Spirit. That doesn't matter too much. Saboteur, now you can tell the difference between normal hooks and Scourge Hooks. Great, awesome, perfect. I feel like that's amazing. That's perfect. I feel like that was just like if Scourge Hooks had come out at the same time as Saboteur, it would just have been part of that perk anyway. So Yeah, that's just a wonderful quality of life change. Bonnie's better. Bonnie went from 33% to 50. That's a pretty big jump. That's a huge jump. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Bonnie's gonna be pretty great. Yeah, Bonnie's gonna be like running that with like empathetic connection, desperate. Like you can be the team medic. Now this off the record, this is gonna be the problem, Perk. This is gonna be the new thing that killer mains like get upset about and whine about. Off the record now gives, after you are on hook, I'm gonna say it in all caps, 80 seconds. 80 seconds. 80 seconds of endurance. 80. That is a minute and 20 seconds. That is a long time. A lot of matches in DBD are only 10 minutes. You're spending a 10th of the match just invincible. Hello? Who thought this was a good idea? You were just spending a 10th of the match invincible. Now they say it deactivates when you do something to like advance the match. But like, bro, this is stupid. This is dumb. Like, I get that off the record was useless in its current form, but this is just stupid. This is dumb. Why are all these perks like borrowed time? Like, hey, I will give you better endurance if you come off hook. And then there's just off the record that if you run it by yourself, you just are invincible for a 10th of the entire game. Whose idea was this? This is stupid. This is dumb. like you think body blocking with BT is annoying now? This perk's gonna be a freaking menace. This is going to be the new Dead Hard. This is going to be the boogeyman that keeps killer mains up at night. This is stupid. This is dumb. Why do they put all these effort into like balancing the game, and then they're just like, yeah, let's just give somebody endurance for a minute and a half. Like, what? You know what endurance is, right? You do understand that endurance is quite like effectively invincibility, correct? like, oh man, this is like, ooh, Papega gaming. This is like 2 IQ gaming. Why do you think this is a good idea? Oh man, this is so dumb. Oh, this is gonna, please change this. This needs to go. This needs to go. This is ridiculous. Like I said, off the record, just, you know, getting kind of like temporary Iron Will and temporary Lucky Break when you run away. Kind of not helpful, right? But a minute and a half of endurance. Ooh, this is like almost like I would argue this is better than DS now. Because DS has that nerf where it's like the stun is only 3 seconds. That's not too helpful. This is the true DS. This is the true like hey, I'm invincible now. Screw you, killer. Like, oh my god. I hope they change that. And they're finally doing this thing with a lot of perks that I feel like are just really underperforming, that I love to death, like Lucky Break. There's a way to add seconds back to your Lucky Break. So if you heal people, you get seconds back on your Lucky Break, which is great. Nice. There's a way to re-earn that, so it's not just, you know, a dead perk slot once it runs out. Pharmacy is kind of interesting. Whenever you're injured now, the first chest you find in search will be an emergency medkit. Like, period. Anytime you get injured, you get the chance to just find a medkit out of the next chest, the next box. That's essentially almost like, obviously you have to take time to search the chest and then heal yourself, right? But like, that's kind of like really what Circle of Healing does, right? Is that essentially there's just like a pile of medkits over in the corner and you just run and go get it, right? Right? That's kind of like functionally how Circle of Healing works, is essentially you just, by cleansing, by blessing the totem, you just create a pile of medkits for people to go heal themselves with. And now that Pharmacy will just do that as well, you just have to, it's just individual, which is interesting. I guess we'll have to see how that works. Soul Survivor, they gave a buff. Now, if you, you know, now you have a extra generator repair speed by 75% and exit speed and action speed by 50%. Which, you know, the whole point of Soul Survivor is like, you know, as people die, you get more powerful. You just become more powerful as a single survivor as people die. I think this is fine. This isn't gonna like like crazy win your games or anything. Like, especially if they think this is just like a solo queue, like a solo queue savior kind of perk. So yeah. Distortion. Distortion is a perk that I like a lot. Just you say no to aura reading, but essentially after you lost your perks, it was just kind of a dead perk slot, and it was just pointless for an effect that wasn't even that good to begin with, by the way. like hiding your aura from the killer isn't the craziest, most effective kind of effect to have. So having it that also become a dead perk slot was just stupid. So essentially for just Pebble, hiding within the killer's terror radius without getting caught will give you tokens back. 30 seconds is a little steep. Like you could probably shorten this, but yeah, I'm happy with Distortion not being a dead perk slot. Lightweight scratch marks are more sporadic, making you harder to track. Hey, yo, you mean like normal scratch marks? You mean like normal scratch marks? Normal scratch marks are already sporadic and hard to track, okay? And they also fade more. I think lightweight essentially does the same thing. I don't think you're gonna see people using lightweight. So, Deja Vu, the generators that are revealed, you get a 5% bonus speed to repairing generators. Wow. So we're nerfing gen speeds, but also giving more ways to speed up gens while also taking away all the slowdown. Man, this sounds like gens are just going to go faster, huh? Wow. No One Left Behind is still pretty much useless. They gave a haste speed on top of the base kit haste speed when you unhook somebody. And also they moved it to exit gates powered instead of open. But the reason nobody uses No One Left Behind is because it's an end game perk for Survivor that isn't even that good to begin with, so nobody's still going to use that. Dark Sense is kind of neat. When a generator is powered, Dark Sense activates, and the next time the killer comes within 2,500 meters of you, their aura is revealed for 10 seconds. It's kind of neat. It's kind of like reverse Bitter Murmur, you know? It's like Bitter Murmur for Survivor. It's kind of interesting. Once again, like, if you're using this in a Swift, that's not gonna go burr, right? Because the call outs will do that, but it's a fun solo key perk, it sounds like. Tenacity now has kind of a built-in Iron Will, so like when you have the Iron Will bug on the ground and you're completely silent, now Tenacity just kind of does 75% of that just naturally. Wowee. So that's fun. That's cool. That'll lead to more people bleeding out. I'm sure that's a great thing. Hope is now dope. Hope never ends. There's no more duration. So once the end of the match begins, you are just permanently faster, which is just interesting. Once again, I don't see a lot of survivors running like end game perks, right? Because I don't know, it's just kind of not a thing that really works out too well. But Hope just doesn't have a duration anymore. You just have it until the match ends, which is kind of funny. Overzealous, not much has changed about this. It's a really small quality of life. It just doubles if you crack a hex totem. That's it. It's essentially the same. We're gonna live forever is interesting. So once again, blood point bonus gone. Once again, no reason to get rid of that. But hey, we already talked about that. But now we're gonna live forever. Apply Soul Guard. It just does. We're gonna live forever. Apply Soul Guard. At least the endurance off the ground. Why? What is Soul Guard in the game for now? I don't know. Because you just kind of took Soul Guard, put it into another perk, and now Soul Guard doesn't really have a use. You just run We're Gonna Live Forever. That's kind of like fun because like I like using We're Gonna Live Forever for the pickup aspect, but I do find that situation a lot where I'm like, man, I want to go pick somebody up and the killer just runs up and smacks them right back down. I'm just like, man, that was fun, and it just led to nothing. Darn. So it's like, I don't know. It's we'll see. We'll see. That might be annoying on killer, but you know. Okay, so that is the very, very long list of changes that are coming to Dead by Daylight. I think a lot of these are great. I think a lot of these will improve the quality of the game, especially Dead Hard being dead. Thank God that perk's done so. The gen situation kind of worries me though. Like I said, they did increase gen speeds by 10 seconds, but they've also just kind of like neutered every single slowdown perk. So that on top of Prove Thyself not being adjusted, Toolboxes not being adjusted, kind of leads me to believe that gens will actually be faster because now there's not as much to stop the gens from happening. So I feel like we're about to enter pre-drop gen rush era, and we're already kind of in it. So I mean, at least the also stuff like Sprint Burst, Unbreakable, are just like not on here, or I guess not being planned to be adjusted at all. And I feel like that's going to be a problem as well. I think most of these changes are fine, especially some of the like the nice quality of life changes, like Jolt not having a cooldown, Dark Devotion activating on all attacks, not just the one. Like there's a lot of nice changes in here. Also, the anti-camping, the anti-tunneling stuff, like the base kit BT, the base kit haste, like that stuff's nice. But I feel like by and large, I don't know, it's really a mixed bag. It's really like a 50-50 to me. Like the stuff that they changed that's good is really good, and some of the stuff they changed that are bad are like really bad. Like Off the Record for 80 seconds is going to be a menace, and I know I'm going to hate that. And that's going to be miserable. That's not going to be fun at all to play against. So I hope that they change some of those things before live. But if they don't, this may be kind of inadvertently, I don't know. I want to say less fun, because just having Dead Hard be gone is actually going to be so fun and so nice. And having a lot of anti-tunnel built into the game base kit is going to be really, that's going to improve things a lot. Overall, I feel like the game will be better with this patch, but I don't know. I feel like the fight isn't over, you know, in a sense. Like, it's like there is going to be new issues that are very annoying that we have to tackle, that we have to talk about. We have to shift our focus to stuff that is going to be new, that is also going to be stupid, that we are just going to have to hope gets changed at some point as well. And that's kind of like the existential way this works, right? Like, unless they just do everything perfectly, there will always be a boogeyman. There will always be that perk that's just annoying. There's always going to be something like that. I can already see, like, Off the Record, going to be stupid, right? We can see that coming a mile away. Gen speeds might be really obnoxious for a while. We see that coming, right? But we will cross that bridge when we get to that bridge. I am happy that stuff like Dead Hard is going away. Stuff like Force DS is going to be not as good. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going away. That is really bad for the game. And that is good. And we will take those for now. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Very long thoughts. Kind of an overview of all of the changes that are coming to Dead by Daylight with the perk changes, and also a lot of crazy, like, literal, like, core changes to the way the game works. What are you most worried about? What are you most happy about? Let me know down in the comments below. But other than that, this has already been a really long video, so I'm going to can it there. I will see you in tomorrow's video, friends. Let me know how you feel. This is going to be a very, very contentious video, I feel. But I will see you tomorrow, friends, and if I do not, I will see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.